I think it's these dark roots. I don't know. Comment below. Tell me what you guys think. I wanted a curly red one. So I got a curly red one. Like, if I like cut off up here, it looks really good. But like, do you see these dark roots? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I wish they would just do like a red with like out these like dark roots. But yeah, so that's fine. Anyways, the point of this video is not about my new hair. The point of this video is going to be a little bit different on my channel. This is going to be a story time video. I've seen these on YouTube and they're kind of getting a little bit more popular within the beauty guru and like girl community, and I've been watching a few myself, and I've kind of just been like binge watching them almost, because some of them are really entertaining and then some of them are honestly like really serious and on a more serious note. So I thought I would jump in to give you guys some stories of my experiences that I've had with like dating. I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, I go on a date like every weekend or whatever, but I've been on a few dates with different types of guys, and I do currently have a boyfriend right now, and we've been together like on and off for almost 2 years. This January will be 2 years. So, really close to 2 years, but we did break up twice within, like, us first starting to date. So that is actually when I did date these guys. We broke up twice. The first time that we broke up is when the worst date actually happened. The worst date I've ever been on. And I've been on some dates, so I'm not going to say, like, oh, you know, the first one was the worst one, but this was honestly really, really bad. And I still tell people to this day, like, how this date went, and they're just like, and yeah, it was like the worst date ever. And I just honestly, like, right after the fact and like during it, I was really mad, but then after like a week or so went by, and I didn't talk to this guy after that. I was just laughing. Like, there's nothing else you could do but laugh. So I was like, all right. So I'll give you some background story. Like I said, this happened when I was broken up with my boyfriend, and we are still technically long distance, so that is why we kind of broke up, because it was right after my mom passed away, and we were getting into a lot of fights, and I was just like, listen, like, I can't deal with a long distance relationship on top of this, so we just broke it off, and we broke it off for a couple months, so this happened within that time period. So, this guy, the way I met him, which I don't think this is a bad way to meet guys, because I've met a lot of nice guys through this kind of way. When I date, I usually do it through like an app. Like, if I'm going to date, I would do it through an app. Clearly I'm not now because I'm with my boyfriend. But yes, I did it through an app. It was called OkCupid. It's kind of like Tinder, but only it's for relationships, not really for like hooking up, I guess you could say. It's more like a serious dating app. So I made an account and I started talking to this guy. We're going to call him, for the video's sake, Jake. Jake is not his real name, but I'm going to call him Jake. So I met Jake on this dating app, and there was some signs that, like, early talking that this probably wasn't gonna like go anywhere, but I decided to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, okay, let's go on a date. Now, he did live 45 minutes away from me, which is kind of a drive, but honestly, if you don't live in a big city, it's hard when you go on these apps to find people that are like, you know, 10, 15 minutes from your house, because my city isn't as big as like LA or New York, where there's tons of people in a small like location. So it kind of is almost expected if you're on this site to kind of, you know, have a little bit of a drive. And I've met guys who live farther than 45 minutes to go on a date, and they didn't have a problem with it. So, and usually, because, you know, you're meeting them online, I think it's always safe for the girl to pick the spot and somewhere closer to her. and also in a public area. So that's definitely important when you're meeting someone offline. Tell your friends where you're going to be. Tell your parents if, you want them to know. I did the bad thing. I didn't tell my dad, but I told all my friends. I told my friend's mom, and she knew where I was going to be and whatever. So I definitely recommend doing that. I'm not saying to go and meet strange guys in an alley, so don't do that. Even though we probably have all had some dates like that. So yeah, this date was probably worse than the alley date, but here we go. So he seemed like he was actually good looking. He was definitely my type. He was good looking. He was tall. So physical appearance was not an issue. And I'm usually not really picky anyways. I honestly will give any guy a shot if, they're just nice and sweet. And this guy he seemed sweet, but it's not he was very, I don't want to say, he was kind of clingy. He was kind of very wanting to FaceTime and text and all this stuff. And I was a busy person at that point. I was working plus going to school, so plus doing YouTube, so I didn't really have too much time to be talking on FaceTime for hours. So I did meet up with him, and granted, he did come all the way out by me, but the place that he picked, and the reason why he picked it was because he had a coupon. So he had a coupon from a coupon book, and he found a golfing place near me, which I already knew about, but I didn't know that they had coupons out, somewhere, which this place is not expensive anyways, so yeah, but it was a mini golf place, and they had a driving range attached to it. So I met him there in my own car, and he drove the 45 minutes to come see me. So we met, and right away, he didn't hug me or didn't even shake my hand, or he was just hi, and I was hi. And prior to this, I've been on dates where you meet them from online, and usually they hug you or shake your hand, or I don't know, do something that is you're meeting the person for the first time, so you want to be hi, my name is, or well, not my name is because you already know their name, but hi, nice to meet you, or something like that. So yeah, it was kind of awkward at first. And so he took out his coupon, and he told me that he had a coupon for the place before we even got there, so because he was really excited about it. So we walk over to the place, and he does the coupon. It was a buy one, get one free, so he only had to pay for one of us to mini golf versus paying for both of us. So we never really talked about who was going to pay for the date before we got there, because I honestly, and this might just be I don't know, some girls view this as bad, but other girls, this is how they view it, and this is how I view it. I always think that the guy should pay for the first date, but I'm also not someone who expects to go to a 5-star restaurant. Even if it's just walking in the park, that's fine. We don't have to, go all out, and you don't have to pay a lot of money, but, if it is a small fee, I kind of think that it's just polite for the guy to pay. So we didn't really talk about that, but he paid for the mini golf, so we ended up mini golfing, and I believe he won, which that's fine, but he was kind of very competitive the whole time we were mini golfing, and very almost in some ways putting me down because I wasn't good at it. And I do golf with my dad, but putting is definitely not my forte, especially when it comes to mini golf, because the putters are really not a good putting stick. They're just not. I'm used to my own putter, so I wasn't doing too good. He won, so he made this big deal, which is fine. I'm all for, if you win, you have to win gracefully. I don't know. That's just a thing. And he definitely didn't, especially in the situation that you're in. You're on a date, you're not on, a competition. It's honestly not a competition. So, yeah, and the conversation, besides him, kind of, putting me down when it came to golfing, was good. So I was okay, maybe he's not that bad. Maybe he's just really competitive, because I know, guys are, competitive. Sometimes they just are. And so then he said, oh, well, there's a driving range attached to this, so let's go to the driving range. And I said, all right, that's cool. So I figured, we get a small bucket of balls, hit that, and kind of, maybe just talk. But he decided that he wanted to play a lot of driving range that day. And I was like, okay. So we go up to pay, and he's like, can I have 4 large buckets of balls? Because he said 2 for me, 2 for you. And I said, oh, okay. And he goes, all right. And I'm like, all right. And he just, like, kept looking at me, and the register guy is, like, you know, waiting for someone to pay, and I'm like, oh, you want me to pay? And he was like, yeah, I paid for mini golf. You pay for driving. So I, like, look around, you know. I look at the register guy, and he's like, and I'm like, okay, all right. Now, okay, how many buckets again? He was like, 4. Now, mini golfing, I can't remember exactly how much it was, but first of all, he had a coupon. That's the whole reason we went there. And it was buy one, get one free, so we only technically paid for one person. Then he wants me to pay for the 4 bucket of balls, which is $8 each, so that's $32, not including tax, of golf balls. So I pay because, you know, I'm not about to be, like, rude and be like, oh, hell no, like, we're getting 1 bucket of balls, I'm not paying $32, like, no, I just was like, okay, like, and a part of me was in so much disbelief, because I was just like, you paid, like, $6 for yourself to go mini golf, and you're gonna make me pay $32 for us to, like, hit golf balls, seriously? And I guess in his mind, he was, like, thinking, like, oh, well, I paid for mini golf, so you pay for driving range? I don't know what the hell he was thinking. And I was like, looking at the guy, I was like, do you see what's happening here? And the guy was just like looking at me like, I'm so sorry. Like, but you know, someone needs to pay. So I paid. And we go and we take the coins to like get the balls, and we get all the balls. And the thing that really I think ticked me off about him driving is he did 1 bucket, and then he went and sat, like, on the bench, because you can be, like, next to each other. So, like, I was golfing here, he was golfing here, and he did 1 bucket, came back, sat on the bench that was, like, behind, and he basically just watched me hit the rest. And if you know, like, golfing isn't a very, like, hard sport. Like, I don't want to say it's not hard, but it's not very, like, physical sport. But when you stand there and you hit, like, 100 balls in a row, like, it's a workout. It's legit a workout. And so, and I wasn't about to, like, just let, you know, all this money that I just spent go to waste. So I hit I hit the other 3 baskets. Because, I mean, I wasn't going to, like, let them go waste. Like, that's my money, and I wanted to use it up. But he's legit sat there, didn't do anything. Like, he was like, I'm just going to watch you do it. And I'm, like, thinking to myself, I'm like, you just made me pay $32 worth of balls, and you're not even going to hit, like, you're going to hit 1 basket? You're not even going to help me, like, do another one? Like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, so he decided to sit there, and we were, like, small talking, but there wasn't anything that was, like, conversation, like, flow. It wasn't, like, we weren't, like, clicking, if that made sense. And I was honestly more focused on hitting all the balls that he had decided to just, like, waste, and my money that he decided to waste. So, yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so hot right now. I'm gonna have to, like, take this off because I'm, like, sweating. It was, like, a cute, like, scarf thing, but yeah, that has to go bye-bye because I'm seriously, like, sweating like no one's business because it is super, super hot in here, even though it's, like, fall. But anyways, so once we decide that we're done, like, well, once I finish, like, hitting all the golf balls, and I'm, like, over here, like, out of breath, like, dripping sweat, because if you ever go to a driving range and you hit a lot of balls, like, in a row, like, nonstop, like, it's kind of a workout. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's kind of like, you know, your arms are sore, like, and that day it was super, super hot out, too, so, like, that was not helping. And, like, my makeup is, like, dripping off me, and, like, I'm sweaty, like, I can just tell, and, ugh. And I was, like, not having it. And so he's like, all right, well, I'm hungry. Do you want to go, like, get something to eat? And I was like, okay. And he was like, well, I drove out 45 minutes to see you, so I don't want to just, like, go to a restaurant and sit down. Like, I'd rather go to, like, maybe like a mall and we can like walk around and like get something at like the food court. I was like, okay. Like, again, this is me not being like, I'm not trying to be snooty or anything, but like, on a first date and you're going to take me to a fast food place in a food court? Okay, that's fine. All right, I can go with the flow. Okay, watch me. I can go with it. So I said, all right, because I was like, okay, yeah, we can do that. There's one like down the highway, and it was honestly like 10 minutes, like not even 10 minutes, maybe like 5, because all you had to do was jump on the highway and get off like the first exit. So it wasn't far away at all, and it wasn't during like heavy traffic hours, so it didn't take us long. It wouldn't take us long to get there at all. And he goes, okay, well, I was thinking because, you know, I drive, maybe you could drive us there, and just so, you know, I don't have to waste more gas. Oh, so you driving us to me was a waste. Okay. Got it. Yeah, this guy, like, he would just say stuff like that, and I was just like, who are you talking to? Like, I don't even know. Like, he did not process before he said shit. Alright, so we hop in my car, and I drive us to the mall where we're going to eat and walk around. So, we get out of the car, and, you know, we go into the mall, and one of the interests that I knew that he had was, like, cologne. So, he has, like, a really big cologne collection, I guess. Just like, you know, how I collect makeup, he collects cologne, which I think is cool. Like, that's awesome. Like, to each their own. Like, I don't like spending a lot of money on perfume because I feel like I'm paying for scented water, but that's just me. So, like, you know, that's awesome that he thinks that's really cool and really fun, and, you know, he has an interest in that. I thought that was cool. So, we walk by this perfume, like, Mania store, which has only, like, colognes and, like, perfumes. So we walk in, and he starts, you know, looking around, talking to the woman who's there, the associate. And he was, like, saying, he was like, yeah, you know, I would love to work here. Like, perfumes is, like, or cologne, I guess. Cologne is, like, my passion. I have so many of them, and they're all expensive, and I can tell which scent's what, and I know how to describe scents. And he was basically, like, selling himself. And I was, like, looking at him, you know. I was like, okay, like. So the woman, after he's, like, selling himself, looks at him, and she's like, you know, we're, like, short-staffed right now. And I'm like, oh God, this is not about to happen. And he goes, really, I would love to have an application. So the woman goes back to the back, gets an application for him, and he stands there and proceeds to fill out this job application while we're on a date. So, and I'm not even kidding you, this application was like 5 pages long. So we stood there for a good, like, maybe hour, 45 minutes of him just filling out this application. And I'm over here with, like, my blood just, like, boiling. I'm like, seriously? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I was so pissed. Sorry for the F word, but I was so pissed. And it was like 45 minutes into him, like, us being in the store, like, I'm not sure what point in time he probably, like, maybe 20 minutes into the store he got the application, so it's been, like, 45 minutes, and we've been in the same store. So I just said to him, I was like, hey, let's go to, like, the food court, and you can finish filling it out there, and then we'll just drop it back here on, like, the way. Because I wasn't about to stand there for, you know, another hour while he fills out, you know, his birthday, his social, like, no, I was not about to do that. I was, like, so over it. I was like, no, this is not going to happen. So, he says, oh, okay, good idea. And so, we walk out, and, you know, we keep walking past, like, all the stores. We're not even stopping in stores, because at that point, I was actually really hungry, and, you know, I just wanted food, too, and I wanted to sit down, because we've been kind of, like, you know, on our feet most of the day. So, we get to the food court, and he goes, okay, well, let's just go to Subway. And I'm like, okay. And he didn't even ask me, like, where I wanted to go. He was just like, let's just go to Subway. So, I don't know. Like, it's like the little things. Like, even if I wanted to go to Subway, you should at least ask me, and then I could, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Or if you wanted to say, hey, I really want to go to Subway, what do you want to do? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just courteous to kind of, like, feel out what the other person's feeling. And he kind of was just like, let's go to Subway. And just, like, kind of made the decision for me, which in turn kind of really ticked me off. So we go to Subway, and he gets foot long filled with, like, steak, every kind of topping you could, like, imagine. Like, a big sandwich, every topping. He gets 2 cookies. He gets a drink. He gets chips. Like, he gets the works. I mean, the works, okay? Me over here with my little, like, 6-inch sub and, like, a freaking small fountain drink. He gets, like, the large fountain drink. And I'm like, okay, because I figured he was going to pay. Again, and maybe that's my mistake for just, like, assuming, but I paid for the 32 or whatever dollars it was to the driving range, so I brought us there in my car, so I said to myself, I was like, okay, maybe he'll pay, and if he doesn't pay, I'll get, you know, small stuff, just because even if he does pay, like, you know, it's courteous to get smaller, like, I don't know, like, you keep in mind of what you're spending when someone else is paying. That's how I view it. So, I get, like, my little 6-inch sub and my little fountain drink, and we go up to the register. With his sandwich, it was, like, $25. I'm not even kidding you. For, like, 2 sandwiches and for all the other shit that he got. And so, he's like, hey, do you think you could, pay for this? Because I have to get gas on the way back, and I don't think I'm gonna have enough. I was like, sure. Sure, I'll pay. That's fine. Yeah. That's cool. So I pay for like the $25 worth of Subway that he got, basically, and mine was like $5, not even probably. So yeah. Yeah. I paid. We go back, we sit down. He eats like a pig, like seriously, like I mean shoves this down. While he's doing his job application, is not even talking to me, not asking me questions, not like saying thank you for dinner, thank you for driving, thank you like for the driving range, like nothing. Like he's just concentrating on his job application. And then at one point, he calls his mom to make sure he's getting the right social security number. Yeah. So, yes. So, once he's done with his job application, and we're done eating, and, yeah, we're walking back to, like, the Perfume Mania so he can drop off his precious job application, and the funny part is, you live 45 minutes away. If you're going to drive 45 minutes to and from work to work at a minimum wage job, and you can't afford gas to come see me, doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so we drop off the application, we go back to my car, and honestly, I'm not in a good mood at this point, so I'm kind of just like, you know, if he does ask me something, I'm just like, oh yeah, like, I'm just like, I'm still being nice, because I'm not one to, like, be rude to someone. I kind of, like, internalize it, and I'm just thinking in my head, like, you know what I mean? So, we get back to the driving place, like the driving range, and he gets in his car, and he's like, oh, come in my car. And so I get in his car thinking, like, okay, maybe this is where I tell him, you know, it's not going to work. So, he's like, I had a really great time, and, you know, he, like, goes on this big spiel, like, how I want to see you again, I had a really good time, and never said thank you, though. That's what I want to say, never said thank you. And at the end of this big spiel, he goes, so, can I have some gas money? Seriously? He just asked me for gas money. Like, I don't even know how to respond to that, because I'm not going to give him gas money, first of all. But I didn't want to be like, no, you can go f yourself, because that's rude. But yeah, I basically was like, listen, I don't have any spare cash on me, I'm sorry, even though that was kind of a fib. I did have a little spare cash on me, and I don't even know if he knew that that was a fib, but I was like, listen, I don't have any spare cash on me, I'm sorry. But yeah, maybe next time, like, I don't know, I can't even remember exactly what I said, but I remember I just said I didn't have any spare cash on me. And so I got out of the car because I wasn't about to like be kissing on him when he like made me pay so much money for this stupid first date, well, this job application that he was gonna fill out. So yeah, yeah. I got out of the car, I got back in my car, and I drove home. And after that, I just told him, I was like, listen, I don't think this is gonna work out, I'm sorry. And he was like kind of, not mean, but like, I don't want to say hurt either. I don't know what he was. He was very, like, weird about it. He was like, oh, okay, that's fine. But then he would, like, text me every day still and, like, try to talk to me. And when I said, like, listen, like, you know, I'll be your friend, but that's, like, about it, he was just kind of, like, almost rude. So I don't need any of that in my life, trust me. I have enough rude people. I don't need any more. So I just completely, like, blocked him. And yeah, so that's how that went. That was the worst date of my life. I can't believe at the end of it I got asked for gas money after paying for most of it and spending like probably $50 on the whole entire date, while he spent like $6 on himself because he had a coupon for mini golfing. So yeah, that was the worst date ever. Definitely talk to these guys before you go on dates with them if you meet them online, because you could end up going on a terrible date like I did and spending a bunch of money that you don't want to spend. So yeah, that was my terrible date story. Hopefully you guys thought this was entertaining. Please like it if you liked this story time, and if you want more. I have another one that I think I'm going to do, which is definitely more of a serious one. So I think I'm going to film that next. But yeah, that was it, and have a great day. Comment, rate, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.